Okay, in today's lesson, let's discuss about functions, right? So basically we learn our basic control structures, sequence, selection, and repetition. Now we have clear idea about how we can implement if else. So that is selection. So we know sequence is easy. Sequence is just using the operators, procedures, inputs, output in a sequential order. Everything will be executed one after another. That is the simplest. And selection is where you have a different flows. From these different alternatives, you are selecting some preferred one based on a condition. That is not preferred one. You are selecting one path based on the condition. So that is the selection. The third one is repetition, which is repeating the things or repeating the instructions again and again. So that is called repetition. So that is the third control structure that we have learned. Okay, now since we have clear idea about this sequence, selection, and repetition, so now let's learn about how can we group the related codes. How to group the related code segments, because that is really important. So some codes you can write just using one line, but some codes are not. Actually, most of the codes, so coding is done for a certain purpose, no, to get something done. Right. For an example, to draw a symmetric shape, if you can remember, we have written small code to generate a code, actually to create a chart, create a shape. We have created. You can remember, right? We did that. Use turtle library to draw a shape. It has certain set of codes. So let me show that again. I have import turtle t equals turtle, and then for any symmetric shapes, actually we can ask the number of sides. Sides, you can take integer input about that. int input, then just mention int input, enter number of sides, enter number of sides. Okay, then so let's say length equal int input, enter side length. So I'm taking both the length and number of sides. Then I'm repeating for, let's say, for S in range, let's say sides, you need to repeat for number of sides. And then let's say you can say t dot forward, the number of pixels you need to forward, that is the length. And then the rotation, the turning angle, you can say t dot left or right side. I'm turning left side. The rotation angle is basically 360 divided by the number of sides. So that will give the proper rotation angle. So let me save this. So this is the code. This was the code that we have used to draw any symmetric shape. So then just run it, and it will ask two questions. The question number one is asking enter number of sides. I'm telling, okay, 5 sides I need. Then the side length, let's say 200. So then when I stop, you can see it's drawing a pentagon with a shape of 5 sides. Each side length is 200. So this is what happening. And if you want to draw another shape, what do you want to do? What do we want to do if you need to draw another shape? Yes. What should I do?
You should put in a different number of sides.
Yeah, I have to put different number of sides, and maybe length if I want, I can change it. But the thing is, so what should I do? Primarily, I have to close this now. Right, I have to close this and I have to re-execute, run this again, right?
Yes.
When I run this again only, it will ask, okay, so what is the number of sides? Let's say this time I need 7 sides, each with 7 sides. I need 7 sides, each with like 70 pixels, and it's drawing the shape. But I have to close this and re-execute, run it again. But when you assign this to a function, so it is like possible to recall that. It is possible to recall that without running that again. So let me show a small example using Word. Do you have Word in your computer? Or I think you are using Linux, right?
Yeah.
But still,
I don't have a Microsoft.
You don't have Microsoft, right?
No.
But I'm not sure whether this is there in. You have OpenOffice, right? OpenOffice Writer, I guess. Writer, I'm not sure whether this run command is work. So let me try. Seems not right. Okay, anyways, I'll demonstrate that. So I'm demonstrate that it's easy to understand, so no need to worry much. So if you have Word, you can try that, but let me demonstrate. So in Word, Microsoft Word, there is a function called rand. I can type equal rand and then open the bracket, close the bracket, press enter. It will give a random text. It will display a random text in the string. So just see what I have done. I used equal rand, open and close the bracket, press enter. It has given the random text. And there is another, so same thing you can execute with some parameters. Parameters means inputs. These are flexible. You can say rand1. So it will give only one paragraph. Rand2 will give 2 paragraphs. Rand2 will give you 2 paragraphs. See, rand3 will give you 3 paragraphs. And rand4 will give 4 paragraphs. Rand10 will give you 10 paragraphs. So this number is called a parameter. So rand is a function, and this 1 or 2, so function can be executed without any parameter. This is a function. Function name is rand, no parameters. Function with 1 parameter. So 1 parameter means you can give value and control the function and recall it. And so it can be run with 2 parameters as well. Actually, this is multiple formats. So it is in Excel also, or Excel in Calc. Also, you have these things, no, sum, average, mean, max. That is there in Calc also. In OpenOffice Calc, you have those functions. So rand. Different things, right? So let's say I'm going to give like this 2, 3. So it will give me 2 paragraphs, each with 3 lines. 2, 10. It will give you 2 paragraphs, each with 10 lines. Yeah, I'm getting 2 paragraphs. Each paragraph will have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8, 9, and 10. So that's giving 2 paragraphs, each with 10 lines. Likewise, you can control the parameters and get any number of lines, any number of parameters. So this is the idea of function. The function has a function name, parameters. These parameters can be changed, parameter values can be changed in the execution time. So it is flexible way of coding. Then the person who is using this coding can customize the parameters, actually parameter values, and get things done. Okay, that is about functions. Okay. Here, let me refer to the note. function, a set of related activities, processes. It gives a defined outcome, and it's named under a single identifier. So similar to a variable, we are given an identifier. Actually, it is where a related group codes are grouped together. So just think about this in real life. Just think about wedding. Wedding is a function in real life. So it has several activities, right? Arrival of the bridegroom, registration, photographs, traditional events, serving, refreshments, ceremonial events, thanking, departure. Likewise, it has several activities. But when you call wedding, it implicitly includes all these things. When you call, okay, there's a wedding, it implicitly, the meal is inside, refreshments inside, the bride and groom, ceremonial events, registration, all these are included, but you call it using a single name. That is convenient. Otherwise, you have to tell, when you are inviting, you have to tell, so tomorrow there is a function, and so the bride and groom will arrive, and then we will register, and after that we will take family photos, etc., and you will be given a refreshment. So likewise, you have to explain a lot. But rather than telling that blah 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 everything, so you can just mention wedding. So then everyone knows, so what is inside that? So one or more activities. So similarly, so in a function, the related codes will be grouped together. So that is for the code reusability, because you don't want to write the code again, and it's very easy and convenient to call it, execute it. And this is the structure of function. So can you write down this quickly? Because so I need you to write down, because you can take a screenshot, but better you write down somewhere, because this thing you need to remember. Quickly write down this page, structure of a function and the function call. Only this part. Let's see how we can implement function to do the same that we have done last day. So this one, the turtle exercise, I would like to try the same. So let's close this and move to the code in. Okay. So it's very, very easy to define this as a function. One thing that you have to do is this. You have to import turtle. Yes, you can say def. It's a def. Okay, draw. Draw is my function name, and then def draw the brackets and colon. Then select everything underneath which you think should be included to the function. Then press tab one more time, only one time, sorry. Press tab one time, and that will indent the code into the, or whatever you have to do is you have to manually keep this indentation. This indentation, so we learned this in the beginning. This indentation says everything under that belongs to this function. Okay, let me run this now. It's very simple. Let me run this now. Okay, you can see it's nothing, right? But when I draw, and so I have to, if I just type draw, it will say function draw at this memory location. This is the memory address where the function is there. It is the RAM address, or the memory address, random access memory address, where the function resides. But that is not how you execute. If you want to execute that, you have to tell draw and the brackets also. Right, then you can see the turtle appears, and you are given two questions. So I'm giving the number of sides 4 and 100. So you can see, right, it draws this. Again, I try to draw this time 5 sides, and let's say again 100 pixels, and you can see it's drawing pentagon. I can again call draw. I'm not closing the window now. So that is the advantage. I can recall, draw again, and number of sides, let's say 6, and this time again 100 something. You can see. right? That is the nature, right? Or, so without running that in that point, you can do something like this. Just write a for loop for, let's say, j in range. So this is actually automation for j in range, or you can automate in the shell terminal or itself. So let's run the module. And let's automate using a for loop here for j in range. So I'm starting from 4, going up to 10. Okay. I'm saying draw function. I'm calling, right? Yes, I'm calling the draw function. But the problem here actually is it's asking the inputs, no? These inputs. But instead of getting inputs, we can do something like we can assign parameters. That is where the parameter comes. Okay, first let's practice this, then add the parameter. Otherwise, you will be confusing. Just draw, and that will ask you the inputs. And after that, please provide the inputs. So if any error, please let me know. 5 sides, 100 pixels. Draw it again. This time I'm saying 10 sides, 100 pixels. Or any number of pixels, right? I just want to make it symmetric. That's why. Draw. Let's say 3 sides, let's say 200 pixels. So likewise, you can keep adding. So you can say 6 sides, 100 pixels. So likewise, you can keep adding shapes to the screen by recalling the same functions. Please do this now. And if you have any error, if there is any error, please let me know. When saving, please be careful. Don't use keywords. Let's add the parameters. Adding parameters, it is not difficult. So let's say, so you have to give this again and again. That is also headache, no? Giving these numbers again and again. So like rand function that we have learned in Word, so we can automate this to some extent. You can even fully automate. If you fully automate, the problem is then the person use the function will not get the flexibility to put their inputs. So let's see, for an example, in Excel or this calc, Excel or calc, you have some min, max functions, but if you don't have flexibility to put the values, so then it's helpless, right? Then it is helpless means you can't use it properly. Therefore, actually, you can see here, this one is also a function, right? Forward is a function. You can put your own length. Left is a function. Inside that, you can put the angle, right? These are also function. Int is a function. You can put a string and convert that to integer. Input is a function. You can take a user input. All these are functions, actually. We didn't learn that previously, but all these things that you can see in the screen, the coding segment. So most of these are functions. These are defined functions by Python. So not just Python. So every program uses this. So let's take Excel. And if you take Excel, so Excel has calc in OpenOffice. So that has function. You can take the sum, mean, max, average. All these are possible. Okay, so let it open and let's add the parameters now. I just need to draw with the given number of sides and the given length. So I'm giving two parameters. Then I'm removing this part. I don't need this anymore because I have parameters to replace. So sides and the length. So that should be given by the person who execute this function. So let's run this now. This time You can't call the function just using draw. It won't work. Yeah, see, because it needs two arguments or two parameters. So you need to give that to it. It will be automatically displayed in the terminal, sides and the length. So sides, I need 5 sides with 100 pixel length. Then it draws. 5 sides it did 100 pixels. Likewise, now it's working with 2 parameters. Very simple. I have added parameter names into the brackets and reuse those parameter names as variables inside the function. So now you can use a loop and automate this. For, let's say, k in range, I need to draw shapes starting from 3 to side, let's say 12 sides. I need to do this. And I'm going to mention draw. I'm mentioning the sides as k. K is ranging from 3 to 12, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, when it becomes 13, it will stop. So then the length I need to give, actually length is not given, length I need to give, I'm giving 100 pixel length. So let's press enter now, and you can see, oh, what went wrong. I think the problem is here. So let me run it again. So let's run it again and give the loop. Okay, range 3 to 13. Oh, okay, in range 3 to 13. Row. Okay, 100 pixel. Press enter, and you can see it's starting from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. So likewise, you can see it's going up to 12 sides, right? So that can be done. Adding parameters, even, so you can loop through and automate. Right, you can just use the turtle outside this, then each time, otherwise it will create a new turtle. You can use one turtle and one turtle object and do this, right? Then that will be easy. Otherwise, like it's trying to create different turtles, but that you cannot see the difference of that. But here it's used one arrow, right? One turtle. So that is the difference. I can say, okay, range. Okay, so 3 to 10. Draw k into you can see same arrow is moving now. And you can recall, right? You can recall that. So let's say you want to draw small one with 60. Recalling is possible. Right? So these are possibilities. So this is how you can automate. This is how you can use it. So different, you can manually draw. So if you want, like, you can just draw without using the for loop. You can draw a shape with 20 sides, or let's say a shape with 40 sides, and each side is only 5 pixels. Because it's like a circle. So you can tell whatever you like, you can tell. So let's say you need one with 300 sides, each with 2 pixels. It's drawing the shape. a bigger circle. Right now, you can see it's like our rand function. It accepts 2 parameters. And next I'll tell how to make these parameters optional. Like the rand has 3 options. Rand has 3 options. So just rand with 1 parameter, and with 2 parameters. Likewise, we can automate this. We can make the parameters also, we can make them optional. Or these parameters are also called arguments. You can make these arguments or parameters optional. Okay, now try this one, please. So please reformat your code. I have added the turtle object outside of the function. So here the function start, but turtle was there. I just put it outside because I need only 1 turtle. Turtle means like a pen, right? Turtle is like a pen. You can use 1 pen and do this, or you can use multiple pens and draw this. Because for this kind of code, just using 1 pen is enough, because pen is coming back to the original position. So using 1 pen will be enough. So in order, if you want to decorate this, you can add another parameter. Maybe you can add this color. Let's say CLR or color. So then you can just say T dot COLOR, and you can give a preferred color CL. Okay, so let's run this again with the color. Then in the draw function, you have to give 3 arguments. That is this one and the color. Let's say red. You can see a red color. Now 3 arguments or 3 parameters. Green. This time I need only 30 sides, each with 20 pixels. Right, let's try to draw another one. I need 30, and I need to turn 10 pixels. So we'll make it bigger, right? Let's say blue. Oh, sorry, smaller, because the more like less the angle, less the actually sides are there, but the turn in angle. No, side length is reduced. Side length, not the turn in angle. Side length is reduced, so the smaller the turn. Okay, likewise, it's up to you. Try this now, please. So speed you can change, sides you can change, the width you can change, multiple things you can change. Let's see how we can do this similar to the rand function that we have just, how to make these properties optional. So that is simple. You can just give default values. You can say sides. Let's give default value as a triangle, 3 sides. So the default value for triangle, let's give it 150 pixels. Default color for triangle, let's give black color. Right. When these default values are given, so let's see, only that you have to do. So it's very, very easy, right? When these default values are given, when you execute this, you can see the turtle screen, the drawing screen. And when you draw, initially it draws a triangle, a black color triangle. If you use a parameter, let's say draw, if you change the sides to 4, so it is black color square. You can use side to 4 and then the side length to 100, side to 4 or side to 3, or side to 5, side length is 100. So then it is a pentagon. Then you can give the third parameter, which is color. That will give you, it has drawn that above. Okay, so then side 2, 7. Okay, let's erase this parameter. This is a black color one, and so when you give 9, say 70. No, so, and you can see. So now you can run with 0 parameters, 1 parameters, 2 parameters, 3 parameters. All options are available because we have default values. When no parameter is given, the default value will be taken. That is a triangle. When the first parameter is given, you have to give in order, right? Otherwise, you can't just give. So if you try to give something like this, draw green, so it use an error. The parameters should be given in an order, right? The parameter order must be preserved. Okay, try this as well, simple. So save these codes separately, right? Otherwise you will, so when you try to open the code and see it again, you will only have the last one. So save this code separately. So let's see, you are drawing something like this, the house that I said. So if you want to draw this, you can just try this as a homework, but I'll tell you, right? So a house has basic elements, no? It's a triangle. So triangle can be used as a roof. Then a square or rectangle can be used as the wall. So let's say this basic shape, I'll do this, but door and window you can add, right? So when you're doing this, please make sure I'm copying this new file. So please use functions. Like why functions? Because like when you use function, when you're using functions, easy. So let's start from this. And first you need to def the roof. The roof is a triangle. So you can get the side length or sides and the length or SNL. Let's make it simple, SNL. And so default, you can say default values, you can say sides 3 and length is 100. Then you can call that for mean range S, then T dot forward L, and T dot left. You know the angle, so you can calculate, or you can just give the angle manually. Because a triangle, the angle should be 120. I'm just giving it. That is the roof. Then again after this, I need to move the pen up. So that can be done pen up, right? So then comes the second function, which is wall. Wall. You can say the side length is 4, number of sides 4, but this should be little less than the triangle. So let's say 90. So this angle should be 90. And here before this, you have to pen down, right? You need to pen down. Okay, let's execute both together. Def house. A house has 2 things. Wall. Before the wall, you need the roof. Roof and wall. So this is how I have used this, but there are errors. You will not get the same. So let's see what will happen after drawing this. So there are errors. Right? Before that, before running this, I'm telling there are errors. House.py, and let's run it. run module, and you can see, okay, here is the shape, and when I execute house function, okay, then you can see the roof and wall, right? Wall comes to the top. That should not happen. How can we control? We can turn right side. And so let's re-execute this. So that is the experiment, right? You have to do the same experiment. You can't maybe if you can predict without experiment, yes, you are in good level, but still you are learning. So learning need to be done with some experiments. That experiments will have failures. I said last week also. These failures are also part of your education, right? The failures are also part of your education. So need to have failures. Then only you can try this, right? You can see this. This time you come up with this. Better than the previous one, but the roof is in an angle. So you can see it is not center lined. So how can you do that? So just think. So 100 pixels is there for this, and 90 is there for this, and there is a gap 10 pixels. Actually, before pen down, you have to move 10 more pixels forward. Sorry, not 10. 10 both sides, and then 5 more pixels forward, right? Understood?
Yeah.
So what are these 5 pixels? Because here you have 100 pixels. So let's have the mathematical measurements, right? So this side, you know, it's 100 pixels now. Here you have 100 pixels, agree? One side 100 pixels. But the square is square that we had 90 pixels, right? Then here it should be 5 pixels. Here it should be 5 pixels, right? 5 plus 90 plus 5 is 100. Agree?
Yeah.
Here, Mehari 5. This is 5. And this is 5. 5 plus this 90 is 100. So you have to let that happen. So to do that, I can move this forward 5 pixels. So let's see the result. These are for the default values, right? For other things, you need to do the calculations. Actually, if you can automate the calculations, great. So let's see that. So it's up to you. You to try. You can think and try these things. So let's try to draw the house now, and you can see the roof, and you can see it's completed. Now it's balanced. And now you can change these. Like you can change. Okay. So let's give the default. You can get this as an input also. House, you can get this as an input. So you can say the roof length and the wall length. You need roof length and wall length. So you have to find the gap. Gap is roof length. Right? Gap is roof length and minus wall length. And now you know. So what should be this forward length? So this forward length. So by default it is 5 pixels. The forward length is 5 pixels by default, right? But so when you reform this, right? When you reform or rewrite this, you can give this back again, because this is important when you're drawing the wall. When you're drawing the wall, this is very important. Let's say this is 4. These are default values. This is 4. Okay, I'll keep a common variable here. So that is better when I keep a common variable. I'm keeping a common variable that is the padding or something. So padding. So for the movement, padding is 5. That padding is used here. So let's make it more convenient. That padding is used here. And this padding is, you can see this is a global padding. Global padding means, right? Global padding means this padding, right? This padding I'm setting to gap divide by 2. Right? Gap, you know, the roof length minus. So this is like some mathematical thing. That is what you have to think. The roof length is 100. Wall length is 90. Roof length minus wall length is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that is the default padding. Right? That padding 5 will be applied here. That will be applied here, and it will be applied here. But in case if you change the roof length and wall length, in case if you change the roof length, wall length, right? If you change the roof length, wall length, so what should happen? Right? What should happen? The padding will also change. So that is the idea. Right? The padding will also change. That is the idea. So similarly, you can apply the roof length here. So you know, roof has 3 sides, and the roof length can be applied here. Then by default, what was the one? Roof length is 100, right? Wall length was 90. This is default values. So roof, then here 4 sides, and the wall length comes here. And you can use the padding also to make it more secure. Okay, this is now kind of universal. Means if you try to draw a house, by default, you will draw this. That is default, right? It's easy. So let's change the values. Let's change the values and see. Let me change these values now. Okay, no need to think up to this level, but the previous level is also okay. Just manually calculating, but I have just tried to automate. Now I'm trying to give house. So let's say the roof is, so roof need to be bigger, no? Roof is 300, and let's see, wall is 200. So let's see whether is it happening. Yes, now the roof is created. Yes, the wall is also created. You can see it's automatically balancing 2 sides. That is what I wanted. Take a screenshot, practice this. So try to add the other components as well. This why I have given this global padding thing. So that is to show this padding is also this padding. Otherwise, you can't share the variable. Actually, I'm sharing these variables among the functions. Right? This padding I'm sharing it to here, here, here. To share a variable among the functions, because these are 3 basic functions. So whatever the variables you define within the function is local to that. I'll explain that next day, right? Next day means tomorrow. Tomorrow you have class, right? Tomorrow you have class, I'll explain that. Okay, so take a screenshot, practice this, try to add the other things also. And if there are changes, let me know, try to make it more decorative if possible. Okay. So then
Okay.
I'll stop from here for today. Let's meet tomorrow. Goodbye.